Imagine being whipped to the brink, each lash tearing deep wounds into your flesh, yet still finding the strength to forgive those who condemned you. It's hard, isn't it? But that's exactly what Jesus Christ did. He faced unimaginable pain and public humiliation, all out of love for us. Have you ever felt unjustly judged, like the world is against you? Jesus felt that on an unimaginable level. But here's the counterintuitive point: he not only endured it but also forgave those who tortured him. Now, imagine if you could apply that same resilience and capacity for forgiveness in your daily life. What if I told you there's a way to transform your own pain and injustices into strength and wisdom? In this video, we will explore Jesus' profound sacrifice and how his incredible story can teach us to overcome our own challenges, no matter how painful. Let's discover together how faith and courage can give us the strength to face any adversity. Prepare yourself for a journey that will touch your heart, challenge your beliefs, and above all, show that even in the darkest moments, there is a light of hope. Stay with us and discover the transformative power of Jesus Christ's sacrifice. The flogging. Our Lord Jesus Christ suffered severe whippings. He was struck dozens of times by a flagrum, a special whip with 12 leather strips, each containing broken bone tips. Each lash inflicted 12 wounds on his body, and since he received 39 lashes, this resulted in 468 wounds. Now, just imagine, each blow was a new wave of pain, tearing open cuts in his skin. It wasn't just physical pain but public humiliation, the scorn of those who saw him as a criminal. Each lash was accompanied by jeers and laughter, as if the suffering of an innocent man was a spectacle for entertainment. Think about that when you feel unjustly judged. Remember that sometimes resilience and dignity are our best responses. The crown of thorns. Moreover, they made a crown of African thorns, 7 to 10 centimeters long, so hard they could pierce a skull. These thorns, used by carpenters as nails, were driven into Jesus' head by Roman soldiers with sticks, to avoid injuring themselves, pressing it in forcefully. Imagine the pressure and weight of those thorns sinking into the flesh and scalp, the searing pain spreading with every movement. Blood ran down his forehead, into his eyes, making it difficult to see. It wasn't just physical pain but psychological torture, as the crown symbolized the mockery of his kingship. Today, we sometimes feel like criticism and humiliation pierce us in the same way. Carrying the cross. Jesus walked among the people, carrying the cross, likely just the horizontal beam, as it would be impossible to carry the entire cross, weighing around 150 kilograms, after so much suffering. He walked about 2 kilometers while blood poured from his wounds on his head and back. The people struck him, spat at him, and threw stones. Literally, Jesus was crushed, as prophesied by Isaiah about 700 years earlier, Isaiah 53. Each step was a monumental effort, his feet stumbling in the dust, his body weakened under the weight of the cross and the pain. The crowd showed no mercy, only contempt and hatred, as if he were the cause of all their problems. And how often do we carry our own heavy burdens? It might be debt, losing a job, or family problems. Learn from Jesus to keep moving forward, step by step. If you have financial difficulties, I recommend reading Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It might help you better understand how to manage and overcome these issues. The Crucifixion. To be nailed to the cross, Jesus was laid upon it, which was extremely painful due to the 468 wounds on his back. He was nailed through his hands and feet, a punishment reserved for the most notorious criminals. These nails were 15 to 20 centimeters long with a 6 centimeters head and were extremely sharp. Jesus saw the Roman soldier position the first nail in his hand and raise the hammer. The psychological anguish, on top of the physical pain, must have been immense. To nail the second hand, Jesus had to be stretched, because the cross was originally meant for Barabbas, who was taller. This dislocated his shoulder, tearing ligaments and tendons. The pain was excruciating. Each hammer strike echoed in his mind, wounding not only his body but also his soul. He was being punished for crimes he did not commit, for sins that were not his. Just as he endured this pain for something he didn't do, we sometimes face situations we didn't cause. Find comfort in faith and meditation. And before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell and like the video. The breathing challenge. When the cross was lifted, Jesus had to use every muscle in his back to keep himself upright and breathe, since the impact of the raising threw his body forward. The cross was then secured in a hole in the ground, forcing Jesus to contract his dorsal muscles to be able to breathe. Each breath was a monumental effort, each movement caused a new wave of pain. His muscles were exhausted, yet he continued to fight to breathe, to live a little longer. He looked to the sky, seeking comfort, but found only more pain and suffering. The cross was an instrument of torture, designed to prolong agony, and Jesus was living this agony to the fullest. Think about this when you're in difficult work situations. Sometimes, it feels like we're battling an unbearable weight. In these moments, remember that each breath is a step forward. To breathe, Jesus needed to push himself up on the nail in his feet, alternating between extreme pain and the need for air. Many crosses had a small seat to help with breathing, but Jesus' cross didn't have one, showing that it was meant for a notorious criminal. Each movement was a struggle, each breath a challenge. He had to alternate between raising himself and letting himself fall, each time causing a new wave of pain. His strength was fading, but he continued fighting, continued breathing. With each moment, the pain grew more intense, but he didn't give up. His determination and courage were unmatched. Apply this determination to your daily life. If you're facing a tough project, dedicate yourself with the same tenacity. Breathing was an immense challenge. Jesus couldn't look up because that would press the crown of thorns against the cross, causing excruciating pain. Even so, he looked at the soldiers and the people mocking him and still managed to say, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." These words revealed his incredible compassion and forgiveness, even in the midst of his suffering. He harbored no resentment, even when he was being tortured to death. He saw beyond the pain and suffering, recognizing the need for forgiveness and mercy for those who didn't understand what they were doing. His capacity to forgive is a powerful lesson for all of us, showing the true meaning of love and compassion. The next time you feel anger or resentment, remember to forgive. It may be difficult, but it's liberating. The final moment and the declaration of victory. Jesus endured this torture for 6 hours. He was crucified at 9 a.m. and at 3 p.m. gave his final cry, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani?" My God, why have you forsaken me?" During the last 3 hours, the sky darkened. Minutes before he died, Jesus stopped bleeding, only water flowed from his wounds, indicating that all the blood had been shed. The human body contains about 5.5 to 6 liters of blood. Jesus shed all his blood, received 3 large nails, a crown of thorns, deep wounds on his back, and a Roman soldier pierced his chest with a spear, confirming that his blood was exhausted. Even so, Jesus declared one of the greatest hymns of victory in the Bible, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." He wasn't defeated by death, he voluntarily gave his spirit to the Father. This declaration was a final act of courage and faith, showing that despite all the pain and suffering, he fully trusted in God. He knew his death wasn't the end but the beginning of something greater. He was entrusting his spirit to God, knowing his mission was fulfilled. This final declaration is a testament to his strength and faith and a reminder that even in the hardest moments, we can trust in God. In times of difficulty, seek inspiration in stories of faith and courage. Reflection and call to action. Jesus endured all this out of love for us. Before being handed over by the soldiers, Jesus prayed in Gethsemane, asking God, if possible, to take that moment away. But when he opened his eyes, he saw beyond the night and the forest. He saw you and thought, it's worth going through all this. He faced everything out of love for us. Now, it's up to us to honor that sacrifice with faithfulness and incorruptibility. Each of us is called to reflect on Jesus' sacrifice and live in a way that honors his love and sacrifice. We should live with gratitude, knowing that he gave his life for us. We should also love and forgive others, just as he loved and forgave us. Jesus' sacrifice is a powerful reminder of God's love for us and a call to live according to that love. Practice gratitude daily. And so, after immersing ourselves together in the immensity of Jesus Christ's sacrifice, I ask you, are you ready to transform your life? Think about the adversities you face every day. What would it be like to face them with the same resilience and faith that Jesus showed? Can you forgive those who have hurt you and move on stronger? Imagine applying this incredible lesson in forgiveness and courage to your own life. What would change in your relationships, in your work, in the way you see the world? Jesus' sacrifice was not in vain. It was a powerful demonstration of love and strength that is available to all of us. I challenge you to reflect on your own struggles and find the strength to overcome them. Find the faith within you to forgive and move on. Start to see your difficulties as opportunities for growth and transformation. If you found this journey inspiring and want to continue learning and applying this knowledge to your life, subscribe to our channel and activate notifications. That way, you won't miss any content that can help you live a fuller and more meaningful life. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts and challenges. And if you want to learn how to overcome your flesh, click on the video that appears on the screen.